I think well, there's so many, like the archetype of the gigolo, and the kept man or woman for that matter. There's so many variations on how to do it, and Ken Marino and I worked a long time on finding this particular version of him. And I love Ken. I love Children's Hospital. I think he's a genius. And we settled on him being this uber serious, grizzled, jaded, slightly exhausted, like who speaks about hhis adventures as if he's been in Afghanistan when really he's just been in Aspen. No, look, every part is different. Every part you never know what's going to click. It can literally be you finally get in the right wardrobe. Nothing's changed, you're just in a different wardrobe. Or the hairstyle, or it can be a rewrite, or it can be looking into the co-star's eyes and you just never know what it's going to be. On this one, though, it was finding that sort of backstory, that sort of attack, and then for me going, oh, I know what this is. This is my homage to Paul Newman in Slapshot. That's what it is. It's Paul. This is exactly who I had in mind playing this character. Yeah, we improv a lot. Another reason why I knew I wanted to do the movie is I didn't know a lot about Eugenio other than how vast his reach is with his Latin fans. But I knew Ken came from the world of improv and would be comfortable with it. And indeed, when we got in the scenes of the Robs, Hubel and Riggle, both of whom I know and adore, all of it was ad-libbed. I mean, we ad-libbed, "I will shoot you in the thorax!" And they're like, that's not a body part, it's a children's book. That's all ad-lib. When I pull the arms off of Raquel and I present her arm to her like it's a sword from fucking Game of Thrones, that's an ad-lib. But the thing is, you never know if that's going to get used. I just thought it made it. Game of Thrones is so in your face that I'm all over it. That I was like, I'm going to do a Game of Thrones thing because everybody's so obsessed with it. So you just never know what they're going to use. It's one of those moments where, look, having done this so long, it's so great to have a day like that because you go, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Like, it's the day where you go, okay, now I've seen everything, and you're just giddy with joy to be doing something so insane, something you will never get to do again, has never been done before. You can't even believe you're doing it when you're doing it. And we shot it all day long. It took quite a while. It was very complicated, the rig that she had to wear. And each time we pulled those arms off, it was legitimately all we could do to not laugh. And then figuring out how to put them back on was even more fun. Like, how much is too much? Like, do I try to slide it up her thing, or do I just put it there? Finally, I just did, fuck it, I'm just going to give it to her. I mean, that was just so much fun. Stream of consciousness, no particular order, network, Slapshot, Jerry Maguire, Goodfellas, Out of Africa, The Way We Were, 3 Days of the Condor. I could Apocalypse Now, Godfathers. I was really lucky to grow up and be young enough and inexperienced enough to experience the golden age of movies, which was, I would say, 1968 to 1980. It's been a brutal year for all. I lost Curtis Hanson, I lost Bill Paxton, two of my great mentors and friends. And Curtis was, first of all, an unbelievable writer. Just an unbelievable writer. And I would argue the greatest level writer and director ever. Like Bob Town, great writer, okay director, but I don't know any other, Coppola maybe, Coppola wrote Patton, won an Oscar. That was one movie. Curtis wrote a bunch of his, but I mean, he was unbelievable. Really, really well missed. That's well, when you said it, when you say legend, people throw that term around loosely, but that's what you're talking about when you're talking about those women. And I think what enables them to be legends, enables anybody to get to that place is, first of all, having some sort of essence of you that people are interested in, right? That's God-given, created, whatever. It's nothing to do with you. And then protecting it, not getting eaten alive by it, which is what you and I were just talking about. Not burning out behind it. And then trying to stay authentic, trying to do something that's authentic to you, right? And we live in a moment which is really interesting where all of the rules are down, all of the walls are down. It's total chaos. Every table has been flipped over. You see it you see it in the world, you see it in politics, you see it in entertainment. Up is down, down is up, nobody knows anything. And the good part of it is you can do whatever you want to do without any real stigma professionally. People win Oscars, the next thing they do are commercials. It's unbelievable. Crazy thing I've ever done for a part? Yeah. I showed up drunk to the St. Elmo's Fire meeting with Joel Schumacher with a six-pack because he didn't think I was edgy enough. Got the part. I shaved my legs, wore a dress, and had amazing makeup and a red-headed wig. I looked like Jane Fonda in the China Syndrome for a movie I wanted to do that ended up being horrible. I did not get the part. Called To Wong Fu, Thanks for Nothing, Julie Newman. I'm surprised it didn't do so well. An amazing title like that.
It's kind of a cult classic.
Yeah, but I lost that part to Patrick Swayze, but that definitely would be up there. I'm never likely to forget those two incidents. And the list is long. I mean, I blew my knee out in the Footloose dance auditions, didn't get that. But as I was being wheeled out on a stretcher from Paramount Studios, and I think I was the leading candidate for the part at that time, or so I was told. They were like, you know what? Don't worry. We decided we're gonna cast a real dancer. And I was like, well, at least there's that. And then I wake up, fucking Kevin Bacon, liars. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I do have a regimen. It's my own skincare line that I use, that I developed for myself and for my friends that I now. It's called Profile. So there's the maintenance part, right, which is a very specific thing. Guys gotta do certain basics, or they can't expect to hold on to what they've got. I do that. The other thing is more global, and because I get asked this a lot, as you can imagine, and it's really an inside game. We've all seen kids just out of college, and they just seem beaten up. They seem exhausted, like they seem old before their time. We've all met 90-year-olds who are like, you can't even imagine that they're anywhere near that. So what that tells you is it's an inside spiritual point of view game. And I think I just hosted Elton John's 70th birthday this week. I've known Elton for a long, long time. And what is amazing about, forget all what's amazing about him is you sit with him, he knows everything about everything. There's no detail too small, no pop culture person, no news item, no event. He, in the middle of the 70th birthday, gave me a condolence on the loss of one of my friends that had happened 2 weeks before. And to me what that is it's participating in life down to its smallest detail, even at that stage. He could be on some throne where I have other famous friends who don't know who anybody is. Like, oh, and then I'm like, really? What fucking world are you living in? And that's not a good way to be. Listen, I'm an overgrown kid. I mean, that's the other thing. I legitimately am an overgrown kid, and I think I was born that way. I think I always will be that way. I just think it's what it is, and so I love all of that stuff. my sons serve that purpose for me, but they're men now. They're in law school and doing their thing. So the nieces and nephews do it now, but I'm predisposed to staying appropriately current. Now, I use the word appropriately because to quote my great friend Lorne Michaels, there's nothing worse than an aging hipster. Oh, that's easy. The answer is yes, 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 and yes. And for me, it was being in recovery, getting sober. I mean, that was the game changer for me. That was it'll be 28. Is that possible?
Wow.
It'll be 28 years in May 10th. And I just like grew up and learned, to the extent anybody can learn, how to handle this insane business. And because all of our flaws are also our strengths, and all of all the things that make us great are also the things that make us not great. It's a really complicated mix being an artist, and I don't like using that term because it sounds so highfalutin, but we really are craftsmen and women. We build things. That's what we do. We have a toolbox, and like I said, you asked me a question, is it different for different movies? Like, what's the key going to be? Sometimes it's the hammer, sometimes it's the lathe, sometimes it's the paint. You don't know, but that's what we do. We build things. And sometimes I go, why am I so tired? And I realize because I manufacture things out of my mind. Like I'm doing a show with my sons, an adventure show for A&E. We did 8 episodes called The Lowe Files. I invented it out of my mind. I mean, one day I had a thought, and then a few weeks later, there are 100 people around, and money is being spent, and we're making something that will be around forever. And that's like the most satisfying thing that I can imagine, is be able to conjure. Literally, it's conjuring. It's like, and that's a gift, and it's a blessing. Well, we as a family have always been into like spooky campfire stories and ghost stories, and we watch like Ancient Aliens and Finding Bigfoot, and and laugh about it and wonder if it's real or not real. And so these are all supernatural, freaky. We look for the we look for Bigfoot. We go to the most haunted location in the United States. We spend the night there. We do. It's literally like, it's like legitimately like, hey, if you could be in Scooby-Doo for real, would you do it? And the answer is yes, absolutely.
That's